Hi, guys and gals. Al Smith here. Today, we're going to talk about the Drury Convention. Okay, and the Drury Convention is only used after the third and fourth seat open of one heart or one spade. Now, let's get back into this. Okay, it's only used after your partner opens one heart or one spade in third or fourth seat. Okay. Let me say that again. It's only used after your partner opens one heart or one spade in third or fourth seat. It is probably one of the most important conventions you'll ever learn. Okay, it's one of a very few conventions that are used after a third or fourth seat open. Okay, there are basically two different bidding systems that are being used. There's one you use after first and second seat, and there's another you use after third and fourth seat opens. Okay, and it's really important to understand that distinction. And the primary reason for that is if your partner opens in first or second seat, you know they've got 13 plus points, but the opener has no idea what you have in your hand. However, if you're opening in third or fourth seat, you know you've got 13 plus points, and you know your partner could not open. So, okay, and now there's some subtle differences between third and fourth seat. Okay, in third seat, we're going to use the Drury. The third seat is going to open with 10 plus length points and 5 plus hearts or spades. And remember, the third seat, we typically will open light by a king. So that's why it's 10 instead of 13. And there are two rules that we use to determine whether we should actually open the hand: the rule of 15 and the rule of 22. Okay, so now there's some short video course lessons on those that are in section 3. So I'm not going to go through those. Okay, in fourth seat, okay, what we're going to typically open with 10 plus points, 5 plus hearts or spades, and meets the rule of 15. Now, I'll explain why there's a difference between these. In third seat, light opens, we're going to, what we want to do is open to tell our partner we have something and to control the auction. In fourth seat, we want to control the auction. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. Okay, if you're in fourth seat, you don't want to open if the opponents are going to be able to find a fit and get the contract and potentially make it. Okay, so you want to be able to control the auction. So that's what the rule of 15 actually says. Can you control the master suit, the spade suit? So I'll let you go back and look at those on your own, because we're going to talk about the Drury Convention. What I'm trying to do here is lay the foundation of what the first or the responder can expect after their partner opens in third or fourth seat. Okay, what did the Drury Convention say? Well, it says, hey, partner, I heard that you just opened one heart or one spade in third or fourth seat, and I've got 3 plus cards in the major suit that you just opened. And I've got 10 plus distribution points. Okay, so what this does is immediately establish that you have at least a 5-3 trump fit between the opener and the responder, which is a golden fit. That's why we're going to count distribution points. Okay, now if the opener's got 13 and you've got 10 plus, that says you've got at least 23, which puts you close to being able to bid and make game. So it says, hey, I heard you open, and I've got 10 plus, probably in the neighborhood 10 to 11 and maybe 12. Okay, and usually in some situations you might have a little bit more if you had started out with a singleton or void. Okay, but what that does is that let's talk some more and see if we've got a game contract that we can bid and make. Okay, now how does the responder initiate Drury? Really easy. What the responder does is bid two clubs. Okay, if the bidding is pass, pass, you're in first seat, and your partner opens one spade, and the opponent next to the opponent pass, and you bid two clubs, that's an artificial bid. Doesn't say anything about clubs, but it says, hey partner, I've got 3 plus cards in the suit you just opened and 10 plus points. Okay, and it reinforces that the bidding system's emphasis is finding a fit in the major suit. Okay, so and that is, since it's artificial, the partner or the person bidding two clubs is going to say alert in a face-to-face game. If you're playing in an online game, you're going to self-alert the two club bid. So just an example here, we've got pass, pass, one spade by your partner in third seat, and the fourth seat passes. And now, actually, there should be another pass in there. Okay, it should be a pass, and that two clubs would be the initiation of Drury. So I'll fix that and then upload the edited lesson handout up into the cloud. Okay, so now the Drury convention is also armed. That means it continues to be used after interference if the responder can make that bid naturally. Okay, in this situation, it's pass, you pass. Again, I've got something wrong here. I need to put another pass in here. Okay, so your partner in third seat opens one heart. The opponent bids one spade. This is okay. And you were sitting in first seat, and you originally passed. If you bid two clubs, that says you've got 3 plus hearts and 10 plus points. Now, if you can see here, the opponent bid one spade, you can naturally bid two clubs. If in the second example, the opponent made a takeout double, and you can still naturally bid two clubs. Now, you've got one unusual situation that occurs is when the opponent makes a two club overcall. So we see here that your partner opened one heart, and then the opponent bid two clubs. Well, you can still initiate Drury by doubling. Okay, in this case, this is an artificial bid, needs to be alerted, and this is called a stolen bid. So this actually gets used throughout the bidding system. So in this situation, it says, hey, I was going to bid two clubs, but this goober over here to my right bid two clubs, and I'm going to double him to tell you that I actually have 3 plus hearts and 10 plus points. Okay, now let's dig into this a little bit deeper. Okay, the Drury convention actually was created many, many, many years ago. And like everything in bridge, it's had an evolution. So there are lots of different versions out there, and there's lots of different explanations. And one of the challenges is separating the wheat from the chaff. Okay, so there's one that's called one-way reverse Drury. Okay, one-way reverse Drury, and another called one-way Drury, and one called a two-way reverse Drury, and another one called two-way Drury. And there's one-way with Drury with ambiguous splinter and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what's best? Well, one-way reverse Drury is the best, and I could explain how this name evolved, but the reverse came because the first person that invented Drury actually created it in a way that wasn't optimal. So they in essence reversed the meanings of the bids between a weak hand and one that you wanted to explore a game. So they added the word reverse. And then somebody that thought they were really smart came up with two ways, so you could distinguish between having three card support or 4 card support. But as it turns out, telling your partner you've got 4 plus cards instead of 3 doesn't buy you anything. So we end up with one-way reverse Drury is the best. Okay, and the reason the two-way isn't the best because it'll limits the information the opener can gather and to transmit to the responder. And that's the whole key to Drury is the being able to gather and transmit information. So, and it also provides a foundation for Drury to be enhanced at a later time with some additional whistles and bells. And we're not going to talk about these because these are only used by fairly advanced players, and they don't come up very often. But they're really important if you really get into the game and want to become a really super player. So I mean, it creates the proper foundation for adding these at a later time. All right. Now, once the responder bids two clubs, the opener's second bid is going to clarify, first of all, the strength of the opener's hand, and then the shape of the opener's hand. Really important. We're going to be able to describe both of these attributes with one bid. Okay, it's really critical. Okay, so if the opener has less than or equal to 13 points. In other words, it was a weak open. We shaded our open a little bit because it was third seed or fourth seed. Okay, the opener is going to rebid two of the open suit. And that says, hey, partner, I've got less than or equal to 13 length points. Now, let's think about that for a second. Remember, the Drury bid says they've got probably 10 to 11, maybe 12. So if the openers got less than or equal to 13, they probably together have less than 25 points. And 25 points is really the key number of points you need together in order to make game in a major. So the sign-off bid, if it goes one spade, and then the responder bids two clubs, is two spades and says, I'm done. I don't have anything else to say. All right, now let's look at the situation when the opener has 14 or more points. And what 14 or more points says, hey, we've got a very strong probability of having 25 plus points and the possibility of making game. Okay, and so the second bid guarantees anything but rebid of the opener of the major suit at the two level guarantees 14 plus length points, and then specifically describes the shape of the opener's hand. Let's take a look at this. Okay, we've got the two situations where the third or fourth seat opens one heart or one spade. So if the opener then bids two diamonds, it says, hey, I've only got 5 hearts and I've got 4 to 5 diamonds. Okay, the same is true with respect to spades. So what the opener is doing is saying, I've got 14 plus points, I've got 5 hearts and 4 to 5 diamonds. So I'm kind of describing a two-suited hand. If they bid 2 hearts, okay, now if the opener bid 1 heart to begin with and then bid 2 hearts, they're signing off. However, if they open 1 spade and then bid 2 hearts, they're saying, I've got 5 spades and I'm guaranteeing 4 to 5 hearts. Okay, so you can see that these bids are describing the shape of the hand. It doesn't say where the other 3 to 4 cards are, but it's giving the responder a lot more information as to where the number of cards that the opener has in what suit, and that they've got 14 plus points. Now, if with 1 heart is bid, the opener comes back and bids 2 spades after it, saying, I've got 5 hearts and 4 spades. You're probably seeing a pattern here. When the opener bids a new suit, they're saying they've got a 5-card major and 4 cards, at least 4 cards in the other suit they just bid. So you can see where the sign-off bid is if it's 1 spade, 2 clubs, and then the opener bids 2 spades. They're going to sign off. Okay, now if they bid 3 no trump, this is interesting. Okay, the opener is saying very specifically that they have 5 cards in the major and that their shape is 3-3-2 in the other suits. And they have exactly between 13 and 14 high card points. Okay, why is it 13 or 14? Because that says we're probably just shy of having enough points in no trump to make 3 no trump. And it transfers the decision to the responder to determine whether they should pass and play 2 no trump or go to 3 no trump. Or if they have an unbalanced or a semi-balanced hand, to bid 3 hearts and play the contracted 3 hearts. So this is a mechanism to talk back and forth to describe the hand. Now let's look at the situation with 3 clubs. Again, with 5 hearts, 4 to 5 clubs, or 5 spades, 4 to 5 clubs. So you see that how they're describing a 2-suited hand. Okay, now 3 diamonds is not used after Drury. So if you and your partner want to come up with some fancy special definition for 3 diamonds, have at it. But I don't recommend it because all of these other bids give you the capability of describing the shape of your hand. Now we've got a couple more bids in here. Okay, what if the opener had 6 plus hearts when they opened 1 heart? Well, they want to be able to tell their partner they've got at least 6 plus. Okay, and 14 points. So if it goes 1 heart, 2 clubs, and they jump to 3 hearts and says, hey, I've got 6 plus hearts and 14 plus points. So the responder has said they've got 3. So now together, each of the partners knows that they have at least a 9 card trump suit. And same as structure is there for spades. Okay, so it allows the 2 partners to exchange information and describe a whole bunch of stuff about their hand. Now, remember we were up here, we said that if we have 5, 3, 3, 2, and 13 to 14 high card points, we're going to bid 2 no trump. And then the process is to determine whether we want to play in 2 no trump or 3 of the major. Well, if you got 15 plus points, it's the same, but you know that the opener knows that the responder has 10 plus, and 10 plus 15 is 25. So you know you've got enough per game. So if you've got 5, 3, 3, 2 shape, after your partner bids 2 clubs, initiating Drury, you're going to jump to 3 no trump. And then the responder is the one that's going to make the decision as to whether you should play in 3 no trump or go to 4 hearts or 4 spades. And the reason for that, the 5, 3, 3, 2, is we consider that a flat hand. Okay, when you have a flat hand, you're going to lead out. You don't have a lot of roughing ability. Okay, so many times you can make 3 no trump when you can't make 4 hearts or 4 spades, or if you can make 4 hearts or 4 spades, you can also make 4 no trump. And if you're playing duplicate, that gets you 10 more points and a better score. Okay, and then we have 2 other bids here. So you got 6 plus points and 16 plus lane points. Now you know you've got a 9 card bid that you're definitely going to game. And so you go ahead and you bid 4 hearts or 4 spades and put yourself in a game contract. Okay, now remember, the responder is the captain. Okay, and knowing the shape of opener's hand will allow the responder then to look at their hand and say, how well does my hand fit with what the opener just told me? And then to make really informed decisions as to whether they should be in no trump or suit contract and what level they should be in. Let's look at a couple of examples. Okay, and we're looking at the opener's second bid. In this first example, the opener, the opener, you opened 1 heart in 3rd seat. That says you've got 5 plus hearts and probably 10 plus lane points. Okay, and came around to your partner who originally passed, and he or she bids 2 clubs, saying, hey, I've got 3 plus hearts and 10 plus distribution points. Now let's look at opener's hand here. Okay, we've got the opener has 11 high card points, 4, 8, 11. You get 1 for the fifth. So we got 11 high plus one for length. That gets them 12 plus length points. Now, remember, the person that discovers the fit is the one that gets the count distribution points. Well, who discovered the fit? The responder did. And they said, and they told the opener they discovered the fit by bidding 2 clubs, because the opener promised 5 plus. And with the 2 club bid, the responder is promising 3 plus. So the responder gets to count distribution points. The opener does not. Okay, they're going to continue to use length points. So what we've got here, the opener's got 12 points. Okay, that's less than or equal to 13. Now, what did we say the opener's going to bid with less than or equal to 13? They're going to bid 2 hearts in this situation to sign off. It says, hey, I've got less than or equal to 13 points. Now, 95% of the time, the responder is then going to pass. But every once in a while, you get an unusual hand where the responder's points go way up because they've got a singleton or a void, and they can actually then explore game by bidding 3 hearts. By bidding 3 hearts after the opener signs off, it says, hey, I've got a really nice hand. If you're kind of like your hand, bid 4 hearts. If you don't, pass. Okay, let's look at the second example here. In this one, our partner again you open 1 heart in 3rd seat, and our partner initiates Drury, and it comes back around. And what do we got this time? Well, we've got a much better hand. We've got 15 high card points, 1 length point for 16. Okay, 16 is greater than or equal to 13. Okay, so we're going to bid. Now we want to do is we want to describe the shape of our hand. Okay, so we've got 5 hearts. We don't have 6. So we've already told our partner we've got 5. Okay, now by our second bid, we're going to tell them we only have 5 because our first bid said 5 plus. Okay, and our second bid is then going to tell our partner where we have 4 to 5 cards in a second suit. So what we're going to do here is bid 2 diamonds, and it says, hey, I've got 5 hearts and 4 to 5 diamonds. Now we can see from this, because we can see the hand, we've only got 4, but the responder doesn't know that because we could have 4 or 5. So the process here is to continually describe your hand and make the description more and more exact. But you can see that 2 diamonds, gives you a huge amount of information, because now you know your partner. If you're the responder, you know your partner's got 5 hearts. You know you've already told them that you've got 3, so you've got a golden bit, and now you know you've got at least 4 to 5 diamonds. Okay, so it gives you information about the other suits also, in that there are only 4 more cards available to be split among the other 2 suits. So at the worst case, it could be 2-2, in which case the opener's got 2 doubletons, or it could be 3-1 like we have here. So that it starts to show more exactly the distribution of the hand. Okay, with example number 3, now we've got 14 high card points, 2 length points, because we have 6 spades. So we've got 16 now. So this is actually the same strength as this other hand, but we want to describe the shape of the hand, right? So we want to tell our partner that yes, we have a 6-card suit. And how do we do that? We're going to rebid the major suit, but we're going to jump to the 3 level. And what that says, hey, I've got 6 plus cards in the suit. I've got 14 plus length points. What do you want to do with that, partner? All right, let's look at example number 4. In this one, we've got a 1 heart open. Our partner goes 2 clubs. Now we've got a 5-3-3-2 shape. Okay, so we've got 5 hearts, 3 spades, 3 diamonds, and 2 clubs. This is the flat hand. Okay, it's much more distributional than a 4-3-3-3, but in terms of the open of one of the major, where you're guaranteeing 5 cards in the major, it is as flat as you can get. Okay, in this one, we've got 13 high card points, one length point for that fifth heart. Remember, the length is very important. Okay, we've got 14. Now, what do we want to do? We've got exactly 14 points. We've got a 5-3-3-2 shape. Okay, so we want to tell our partner that our shape is exactly 5-3-3-2. How do we do that? Okay, remember, if we go back to that chart in the previous page, what we're going to do is bid 2 no trump. And it says, hey, I've got 14 to 15 length points and an exact shape of 5-3-3-2. So that gives the responder a lot of information to make the determination of whether they want to play in no trump or whether they want to play in hearts. So in this situation, if the responder had a relatively flat hand, he's going to pass because he knows his partner only has 14. Let's say he's got 10 to 11. They're probably not going to be able to make 3 no trump or not be able to make 3 no trump or 4 hearts in this situation. But if they got an unbalanced hand, their hand may tend to be stronger because of distribution, and they may be able to bid 3 hearts or actually even bid 4 hearts. Now let's look at this next one here. It's an interesting hand. Okay, we open 1 heart in third seat. Our partner bids 2 clubs, say initiating Drury. And we've got this shape here. We've got 4 spades, 5 hearts, 4 diamonds, and no clubs. Okay, so we've got, we'll look at this. We're still counting length points because our partner is the one that's going to count distribution points. We've got 16 length points. Okay, we know we want to be in game somewhere. We also know we don't want to be in game in no trump because we don't want to be in game in no trump if we've got a void. Okay, so how are we going to describe this here? You know, we're not going to rebid hearts because we've only got 5 of them. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to bid 2 spades first. Okay, and the reason we're going to bid 2 spades first, that tells our partner that we've got 4 to 5 spades, and our partner's going to bid something. Then we can bid 3 diamonds. And when we bid 3 diamonds, it's going to tell our partner that we've got 4 diamonds. Okay, so if we've told our partner we've got 5 hearts, and we've told our partner we've got 4 to 5 spades, and we've told our partner we've got 4 diamonds, our partner is going to be able to deduce that we have exactly 5 hearts, 4 spades, and 4 diamonds. And that's a lot of information for the responder to then make a decision as to where the contract should be and what level. With this type of hand here, it gives them enough information to say, hey, maybe we should be exploring slam. Let's look at example number 6. Okay, basic same initiation. In this case, we've got 5-3-3-2. Okay, again, this is a flat hand. Okay, but we in this time, we've got 17 length points. All right, and our partner has promised us 10. So 10 distribution points. So that's 27. Okay, and this is a relatively flat hand. Okay, and the 5-3-3-2. So what we're going to do is bid 3 no trump. Okay, now does 3 no trump, is that a sign off? Does that tell our partner to shut up? No. What it does is tell our partner that we do have enough points to bid 3 no trump, that our shape is exactly 5-3-3-2, and for the responder then to make the decision based upon the shape of his or her hand, whether to pass and let the contract be played at 3 no trump, or if they've got a singleton or a void and maybe 2 doubletons, to bid 4 spades. So it's just a continuation of the conversation. All right, so we talked about the opener's second bid, okay, and how important that is to describe the opener's hand in terms of strength and shape. Well, now what does the responder's second bid look like? Well, if the opener rebid their suit at the 2 level, they're saying I've got a minimal open there, and you should pass unless you've got something really unusual. So 95% of the time, the responder is just going to pass if the opener rebid their suit at the 2 level. Okay, now if the opener rebid the suit at the 3 level, that bid is forcing to game. Why? Because the opener is saying they've got 6+ cards in the suit and 14+ points, and the responder has promised 3 cards in the suit and 10+ points. So they've got a great suit. They've got enough points per game, so it's forcing to game. Okay, now what is the responder going to do? Well, he's going to bid 4 of the agreed to suit. Okay, and if he thinks there's a possibility of slam, because the bid is at the 3 level, they can actually make a control bid at the 3 level or the 4 level below the agreed to trump suit and potentially explore slam. Now we're starting to get into some really advanced territory when we talk about control bids. There's there's a lesson on control bids, but that's a topic for a different day. Okay, now the primary challenge for the responder is to determine whether to bid 4 of the agreed to major or 3 no trump. Okay, if the responder has 4 of the bid major, that says that they've got at least 9 cards in the trump suit. Okay, what they're going to do is just go ahead and bid game. If they've got 3 cards support and an unbalanced hand, with a singleton or a void or 2 doubletons, okay, they're going to bid 4 of the major because they have roughing power. Okay, with the more distributional the hand, the more roughing power that you've got. Now let's look at the situation where the responder has a totally flat hand of 4-3-3-3 or 4-4-3-2. They're balanced hands with some unbid suit honors. If they've got honors in both of the unbid suits or all the unbid suits, okay, they're going to bid 3 no trump because the openers promised 14+ and the responders got 10+. So if they note that the opener's got a 5-3-3-2 and they've got a flat hand, they know that no trump is going to be the best contract. Now the question is, do they have blockers in all the unbid suits? Now, if we had the situation where the opener opened 1 heart and then the responder bid 2 clubs, how many unbid suits are there? 3, because remember, the 2 club bid is artificial and says absolutely nothing about clubs. So you need to have coverage in the other 3 suits. Okay. Now, if the responder then bids 3 no trump after hearing that it's 5-3-3-2, the opener may still pull that and go back to the major because he or she is uncomfortable with something. Now, if you don't have coverage of all the 3 unbid suits, you have to have a way of talking to each other to figure out if you actually do have coverage in it. And the way we do this is we're going to bid up the line the unbid suit where we've got a blocker. Okay, so the bidding, let's say, started out with 1 heart and the responder bid 2 clubs and the opener bid 2 no trump. Now the 2 no trump does not promise blockers. It's really important. 2 no trump by the opener as their second bid does not promise blockers. It promises that the shape is 5-3-3-2. Okay, so they could have weak suits. Okay, so now if the responder had, in that case, a bid of heart, if they got a blocker in spades and in clubs and in diamonds, then they could bid no trump, bid 3 no trump, because they know they've got enough per game. Now, if they don't, and let's going to assume in this example, they don't have a blocker in clubs, but they do in diamonds, they're going to skip the suit where there isn't a blocker and bid up the line. In this case, because they don't have one in clubs, they're going to bid diamonds, showing they've got a blocker in diamonds, but not in clubs now. So it's really important to understand that type of situation. Okay, because there are a lot of times when you want to explore no trump, because if you just blindly bid no trump, it may turn out that the opponents have can take 4, 5, 6, or even 7 tricks in a suit right off the top. So you want to be able to talk to your partner and determine that you got a blocker in all the suits. Okay, and that's the way you're going to do it. And there's more information on that in other lessons. Okay, now let's look at some examples where we're looking at the responder's second bid. Here we have the opener bidding 1 heart, the responder initiating Drury by bidding 2 clubs, and then the opener bidding 3 hearts. What's the opener just said? It said they've got 6 hearts, 6 plus hearts, and 14 plus points. Now that's the responder's hand. Okay, they've got 3, so now they know they've got at least 9 cards between them. Now, because the opener has said they've got 6, the responder also knows that the opener has some roughing values, because if they had 6, 3, they'd have 2. If their shape was 6, 3, 2, 2, they'd have 2 doubletons and could rough in the two suits where they have only 2. So that's pretty well determined. Once your partner says they've got 6 plus cards in suit, you're going to play in a suit contract, and you're not going to be real interested in playing a no trump. So what's going to happen here? We've got 11 distribution points because we've got 1 extra distribution points for having the doubles and in clubs. Okay, and we know the opener's got 6 plus. We're just going to go ahead and bid 4 hearts. Easy. Okay, because we got all that information about what our partner, the opener's hand, looks like. Let's look at the second example here. Now, this one gets a little bit more interesting, as we've got 10 high card points. And by the way, that's also 10 length points, and it's also 10 distribution points, because we have no roughing power and we have no extra length. So in this case, we got 10, 10, and 10. Still 10. Okay, now we know that this hand has no roughing power. The only time that they'll ever be able to trump anything is on the fourth time the suit is led. That's in hearts and clubs. And it's very improbable that they're going to be able to do that. So this hand says, well, if my partner has a flat hand, I think we should be in no trump. So with the 4-3-3 balance shape and unbid blockers. Now remember, our partner bid a heart. We've got a blocker in spades. We've got a blocker in diamonds. We've got a blocker in clubs. We've got 10 plus points. What do you think we're going to bid? We're going to bid 3 no trump, because we know we got enough points. We know that we've got a 5-3 fit, and we know that we've got a blocker in all the suits. Now, here's the other aspect of this. If you're playing in 4 hearts, what's the first thing that you're going to do? You're going to draw a trump. Okay, if you had to lead 3 rounds of trump, okay, this hand has no roughing power. So that with 2 flat hands, with the opener and the responder, you're going to be able to take as many tricks in no trump as you are in the suit contract. And if you can make the same number of tricks in no trump and a suit contract, the no trump contract is always going to be worth 10 points more. And that's going to give you a lot better score, especially in duplicate. Let's look at example 3 here. In this one, we opened our partner opened 1 hearts. We initiated Drury, and our partner came back and bid 2 spades. What's that say? It says we've got the opener's got 5 hearts and 4 to 5 spades. Okay, so we know that our partner's has at least 9 cards and maybe 10 in the 2 suits that he or she bid. Okay, now we've got the situation here where we have good blockers in diamonds, okay, but we don't have a blocker in clubs. And our partners naturally bid 2 suits, hearts and spades. So we're going to assume that our partner has a blocker in those 2. All right, now we've got 11 distribution points because we've got 11 high card points. Okay, now we're 4-3-3-3. Now we don't know, we know that our partner has some aspects of shape. Okay, so what we can do here is we can bid 3 diamonds to say to our partner, hey, I've got a blocker to control the diamond suit, but I don't have one in clubs. Okay, now our partner knows we have enough points to go to game. Okay, and our partner then might determine that he or she thinks it's best we should play in no trump. If so, they will bid 3 no trump. If they don't have a blocker in clubs, and you've already said you don't have a blocker in clubs, you know you don't want to be a no trump, so you're going to bid 3 hearts or 4 hearts. In this case, because you got to know you've got enough points per game, you're going to bid 4 hearts. Okay, so that's how you explore no trump. All right, that is the Drury convention, and you can see how well Drury, the exchange back and forth between the opener and the responder, allows them to fully describe the strength of their hands and the shape of their hands, making the decision of what level to play at and what strain to play in really easy. This,